Welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. This is an episode of the off season. We're just doing whatever until we figure out a direction for the next era of Midnight Grappler Animals.
We're stalling.
So we are stalling. This is 12 weeks of us stalling, essentially. But if you're listening to this, you know, that means you appreciate us engaging in our shenanigans to stall. So we're doing another
stalling.
Really is. Like, it really is. So we've got the wheel again this time. There's no special episode this week. We've got a wheel with some topics on it. We're going to spin that wheel. We're going to see what topic it picks. And we're just gonna yap about it for as long as we can. No prep, no nothing. Let's do it. All right, spinning the wheel now. What is it going to land on? Okay. So, Keigen, are you ready to talk about whether or not comics should be remastered or remade?
Okay. So, just to clarify, remastered is like re-released with new colors kind of thing? Or
yeah, re-released with new colors,
Okay.
maybe even re-inked. I guess we'll start with that. What do you consider to be a remaster? Because remasters mean a lot of things for different mediums. Like a remaster for a video game is not the same thing as a remaster for a movie. Same with a remake even, right? Like, we were just talking about Yakuza prior, so I'll talk about Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2, which are remakes of the first two Yakuza games, but they're not the same thing. They're essentially completely different entities. They use the same story, they have a lot of the same beats, but, you know, they're made on a completely different engine. They have a lot of additional content added to them. Right, so it's not the same. Like, if you were to give someone Yakuza Kiwami or Yakuza Kiwami 2, and you were like, okay, this is the Yakuza 1 experience, the Yakuza 2 experience, you don't need to play those two games, those two PS2 games now. And from a story perspective, I guess, but from a holistic video game perspective, not really, right?
Yeah.
And I think the same case can be made for some remasters too, where like there are remasters that will add a lot of quality of life features to the point where it's not the same experience that you had prior. And you know what, on that note, I'm going to use Yakuza again, because Yakuza 3 to 5 got remastered. And in the case of Yakuza 3, the things that got changed were that like a whole side mini game was removed, a bunch of transphobic sub stories were removed, the entire thing I think was retranslated too. So like Yakuza 3 remastered and Yakuza 3 on PS3 are not the same experience, right? So the reason why I brought this topic into the wheel was a while back Marvel did, I think it was a 60th anniversary and a 70th anniversary, like a retelling almost. Do you remember this?
Of what?
I think it was Captain America or Avengers #1. And they got like a whole bunch of artists to contribute to it.
Oh, yeah. And it was like one page at a time. Hey.
Yeah. It was like basically the script was more or less the same, but it was like reinterpreted by like, I don't know, like Paulo Rivera. Mike Hawthorne was in it too.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Like, so that's what got me thinking is like, in that case, it is more of a celebration, you know, this is just an anthology, but should that be something that we do with comics, remaking them or even just remastering them? Like the remaster case is much easier, I think, to talk about.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start there.
Yeah, I think it's really it's a whole thing. Sorry, that's my dishwasher drain, I think.
Nice.
So I think, I don't know, I kind of had this debate with myself about the Masterworks recently. Because it's like, I mean, one thing is, why are we still telling Spider-Man stories, right? Like, actually,
right.
Why are new issues of Spider-Man coming out? If there, I don't think there's a reason other than Marvel makes a lot of money off of them, like,
or even like the facsimile editions.
Yeah, no, I'm like really just talking about the main Amazing Spider-Man title. Why are we still publishing Amazing Spider-Man today? Besides Marvel makes money off of it, is there an artistic reason that those are being published, right? And then like aside from that, why are we republishing old Spider-Man comics or facsimiles, right? And it's like I was thinking of that while I was reading Amazing Spider-Man Masterworks Volume 5, the new Mighty Marvel Masterwork one. And it's like, well, it's because these are bangers. Like, that's why, like, those comics being bangers is the answer to all of those questions, you know?
Right.
Like
that's why you'd want people to read them. Like, no one's reprinting the random, I don't know, Darkhawk. Actually, they might be now, but like, you know, the random one-off comic from the 90s. Oh, you know what? The NFL Super Pro, or what was that the one? Yeah, no one's reprinting that yet.
No,
yet.
And like, but that's also the answer to why are we making Spider-Man comics today? It's because those original comics were bangers. That right. is really why. Like, creators or kids at the time read those and they wanted to become comic creators, and their inspiration was those Spider-Man comics, and they got to write more Spider-Man comics. It's very bad, the market. It is the market's fault. It's very bad that the market incentivized making more Spider-Man comics instead of making original things, right, that were inspired by Spider-Man. Like, that's the real fault at all of this, was that, you know, you had guys like Roy Thomas who would rather just continue to write things that were already made rather than anybody to create new things. So now, you know, 80 years into this medium, it's all superheroes. And so like it's weird to unravel that knot to me, because I do understand why they are republishing you know, at least Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 110. You know, those, and that initial run by Lee is like, it's good. All of them. I understand why you rewatch those for the same kind of reason why people rewatch like Lost, even. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
But like, the answer gets more and more murky when it's like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of opinions about bad recolorings. Part of that is because I've avoided the things that everybody's like, yeah, that's a really bad coloring, and you probably shouldn't read, like the Walter Simonson, the new Thor, I think, this newer
like the re-release ones.
Yeah, I think they're really bad. As they came out, people were like, those are really bad, and so I haven't even read them. More Swamp Thing is I'm in a similar place with. I haven't read them, and I always hear how bad the coloring is. And so that stops me from reading, like, I think the Black Label editions were criticized for bad coloring or something like that. And that's part of the thing too. I'm confused about what colorings are good and what colorings are bad. And so like all of those things are barriers to me doing that. But I'm not sure I would say they shouldn't happen. I don't know what the answer really is. If like,
I mean, I think the fascinating thing is like the fact that our concept of what a remaster is, for a comic specifically, has to do with the coloring specifically. Like when you think about a remaster of a movie, right? Like what gets touched up, right? Like what are they changing to remaster it? Right, like in the case of a film, they're either rescanning the film to make it look sharper, or they're changing the color grading, which again, in this case, is the color, right? But like, how much can you really change about an old comic before it stops being like a quote unquote remaster?
Yeah, that's a good question, because the other part of this too, and like the part that I think makes me lean toward that things should be remastered, things should be re-released in a way that they can actually like functionally, technologically do it today, right? Is accessibility. Not that every piece of art needs to be accessible, right? Like that was an annoying thing to me about all the initial HBO Max stuff, where people were like, this art is being deleted forever, and I'm like, I'm not a preservationist in that way. I don't care if the Ellen DeGeneres kids show is gone forever. Like I get it. If you take that moral stance, that's cool. I'm fine with it. I don't take that moral stance though. Like it's not changing anything for me that you are getting rid of art. It's sad, I guess. People worked on it, sure, but like a lot of that sort of art is just a paycheck for the vast majority of those people, and they're not actually saying anything about the human experience. So like it is what it is.
But I mean, I mean, there is a case to be made about like preserving
I get it.
Like
Yeah,
you know, there's that
understand.
woman who recorded, I think it was like 70 years worth of just regular TV on VHS tapes, and like that was like a huge preservation effort. Like even things like old diaries, right? Like again, no one. At first glance, you would think that like the diary of some Joe Schmo from like 1863 wouldn't matter, but you know, like in a way, it is still a historical document.
And it does speak to the human experience too, which is like ultimately what art is. So, and I get that, and I think there are arguments for preservation that I'm like, 100%. Some of the arguments are a little bit goofy to me. In particular, when you're talking about corporate art, it's just kind of like, well, I'm more interested in like the
okay, well, in that case, let's move away from big two comics in this case, and even like indie comics. Right, like some of the oldest indie comics, you know, like stuff that was published in like Raw or even underground comics. You know, like how much of underground comics is being preserved, or like how do you remaster that? If even
to me, there's an argument to remastering all of those for a preservationist lens of like get a real artist to re-release those and like.
Now, in that case, what are you proposing that they?
I think that depends on if the original creator is alive and accessible or not, if their wishes are, you know? Because if not, then it's like, this is a new work. So few people have even experienced it. Like, treat it as your artistic baby, give the old artist credit, of course, but like, do something weird with it, you know? And I mean, ideally, you would also provide, even if it's like a low quality, you would provide the original work in low quality as well. But I do think like remastering is an interesting artistic endeavor in its own way, right? Like just apart from preservation, you can say.
I would make the argument that remastering is not preservation.
Okay.
Like if you really wanted to preserve a piece of art in its original form, then it would have to be released as though, you know, it was released back. Like that's the thing with the facsimile editions, right? Like the facsimile editions are not preservation because you're not like preserving the original art. You're just reprinting it, and in some cases even remastering it, because, you know, I'm pretty sure those still have like modern ads in between all the you know, ads from the sick goofy. So, you know, like
actually, I have all the year one facsimiles, and I kind of want to bust them out.
Why?
But why did I get them?
Why?
Yeah, why? Cool. I don't know. I have year one in a bunch of different formats as well.
Okay.
And like as many formats as I can. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the like boring trade because I got the absolute. So I'm like, I have both in giant format. But yeah, I mean, I got it. It's like on. I think they printed it on newsprint, or at least like whatever the compact comics, not newsprint, but it has the grain in it. Yeah, I mean, that's why I like year one. I like Mazzucchelli.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess if we are moving away from big two, like, are there comics that you think would benefit from a remaster? Actually, there's one case, and I'm gonna have to move back to big two for this.
Okay,
because you know, there is the very famous case of Vince Coletta's inks over Jack Kirby's art, right? And just how much Coletta's inks just like ruined Kirby's art.
Well, that happened at the time, though, right? That was out of his control. Or that was like
Now, my question is, like, if we were to remaster those comics, right? And I don't know. I this would suppose that you still have the original pencils from Kirby, right? Again, hypothetically, if we did have those pencils, I feel like that might be the strongest case for a remaster, where it's like, okay, why don't we give this to an inker that actually knows what they're doing, right? The issue then becomes almost like, is this what Jack Kirby would want? Would Jack Kirby even care? What does the Jack Kirby estate think about re-inking some of these like classic issues? But, you know, like, I guess if you were to make a case for remastering a comic, not just on a coloring level, but like on a more like there's layers to it, right? And I think colors, like if we were to work backwards in terms of like the comics creation process, right? Like I guess it would start at the lettering, right? Touching up the lettering, and then it would go to coloring, and then it would go to inking, and then it would go to pencils. And I think when you get to pencils, that's when things really start to like get iffy.
Yeah.
Because like everything else in the process, you can still change without really. Because
I mean, yeah, even writing, because you're still rewriting things all the way up to the lettering stage,
right?
know? Like that basic. I mean, and it depends, right? That nowadays you have your pencil inks typically. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
now
there are still
you've got people who are penciling, inking, and coloring. So like that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I mean, I think the raw pencils are what you need to really, if you were doing like the situation you were talking about.
Yeah. But even in that case, like, are you losing out on the artistic value of the original if you change? Like, it's a ship of Theseus thing, right? Like, where it's like if you change up enough of this comic, because like for as much as at first glance you might think that the inking and the coloring and the lettering is negligible in terms of like the final product of like, and I guess you can make the case in Big Two, right, where that is like, okay, well, you know, just what people were doing. It just was the job at the time, right? Like, but you know, if you were to take, say, for instance, I don't know, Kirby's Fantastic Four, right, and change the inks, change the colors, change the lettering on it. At the end of the day, is that still Lee Kirby Fantastic Four?
Mm-hmm. I mean, no.
As the way, like as the way that you want people, like,
yeah.
I guess intent is a huge thing, right? Like, because if Marvel wants people to read these comics, you know, that want can be so many different things, right? Like, we want them to read it the way that it came out. We want them to read it in a way that would be easier for them to glom onto. Because I know that there for quite a few people that I've talked to, like there is a barrier for them when reading older comics that just like they can't vibe with older comics, right? Like the artifice of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I have that issue every time I have to. And it is have to. Every time I have to pick up a Marvel Masterwork, it's like, all right, you know, it takes me a couple issues to get into it and be like, okay, you know, I get this. Right. This is fun, but it is. It's more work. It's more work.
Yeah.
But I mean, to your point, I do think a remaster, like you were saying with the Yakuza games, like it is a different experience. It's a different piece of art at the end of the remaster. And so to me, there's an argument for it in that realm. You know, you credit everybody. And I even think, I guess this is highly dependent on the situation, but I think there's reason to go against what the original authors want to, right? Because like there's a way that this interacts with criticism as well, where this is a stupid way to treat art, right? This is the George Lucas field of art where it's like, I can keep tinkering with this thing and make it better. But like that is a human instinct toward creation, right? Like, let me tinker with it and make it a little bit better. And like, why can't I tinker with somebody else's thing and make it a little bit better too, or try? Maybe I fail. That's okay. But it is like it is that sort of thing that it's going to depend on each case. So it's so situational, I guess.
So I guess that does push into the idea of remaking it, right? Like, because retellings are no stranger to comics, right? Like, they're classic stories that have been retold tens, maybe even hundreds of different times. So, I guess this does get into the grand design side of things. Like, summary comics, book report comics, right? Are those like, is X-Men Grand Design considered a remake of 30 years worth of X-Men comics? Is it a substitute? Because I think when you think about remake, there's two schools of thought, right? Like, one is this is a different interpretation of the original material, and two, this is us trying to improve upon or give people another option if they don't want to read
30
the original.
Years of things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read Grand Design. I have no interest in reading Grand Design.
Really?
Absolutely.
You haven't?
Absolutely. I think I bought them on a Comixology sale at some point, but Comixology is unusable. Actually, it doesn't even exist, I think,
okay.
Anymore. So I have not read it. I think I only bought it because like all three were only $10 or something, and I was just like, one day I could get around to this. Now, I realize there's a lot of stuff that I will never get around to. That's probably one of them. So not a lot of, I don't know. But having not read it, giving it the benefit of the doubt, even though it doesn't deserve it, I do think that's like a distinct thing. Like that's a distinct piece of art separate from the other 30, really. The other 30 years, I mean. And I, especially because, and I think that opinion is formed having read so many comics that hinge on previous runs, right? So like Fraction Aya Hawkeye doesn't exist if you don't have West Coast Defenders, doesn't exist if you don't have other Hawkeye books, the one where he loses hearing, all that stuff, right? But like,
right,
I've not read West Coast Avengers. I've not read any other Hawkeye solo pre 2011. You know, that is a distinct piece of art, though. Like that thing, you can read it and understand everything. It exists on its own. It exists with only the will of the creators who worked on it. You know, they were influenced by previous Hawkeye stories. They were influenced by Rio Bravo. Like they were influenced by all kinds of different art. And that's what art is. Every piece of art is influenced by other things. So that's why I think like the Grand Design books, as much as they're trying to be, as much as they are retellings, I also think like they are also their own version of those things, I guess. I don't know.
I guess this also does go into the idea of like alternate universe, like the ultimate universe or the absolute universe, right? Like the reinterpretation of what already exists. And I guess that, because, you know, when
that definitely fits.
Yeah, it does. Cause like when you think about like, oh, what's the best first Spider-Man comic for, you know, for someone who hasn't ever read Spider-Man before. And I think a lot of people do gravitate towards, you know, the Bendis Bagley, Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Cause, you know, like it is a very holistic encapsulation of like a lot of the original stuff, right? Like even if it is reinterpreting a lot of it, so much of it is creating a singular narrative that makes it easier for people to follow.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that one is such a strong argument for retellings because, and it's not something that's going to happen ever again, maybe. Like, but it's a 200 issue epic that is the beginning of him becoming Spider-Man to him dying. You know, like you get an ending. Now he's maybe alive again. That's not ever going to get answered. That's not. So just ignore it.
Donny Cates might have answered it. Actually, you know, there is a universe where Donny Cates might have answered it. Who knows?
You know what? It's not
best not to dwell too much on that, you know.
But like, especially if you just stop at Death of Spider-Man, which there's very good Miles Morales comics. I'm not saying skip those, but if you were to just end with that, that is a complete Peter Parker story. You have
and that's a full narrative. Yeah,
like that's more than Stan Lee got to do with the character. Like that's more than anybody else did. And so that's where I think retellings or adaptations too, they can fill that, where of course Marvel's going to continue to find excuses to publish a Spider-Man comic. Of course they're going to find excuses to continue telling Fantastic Four comics because they want to make money off of these characters they own. But like in a retelling that you're able to do off to the side that has hopefully less editorial oversight or better editorial oversight. You're
aside
actually
from that
able
one
to
arc.
Yeah.
Aside from that one arc.
I am generalizing at this point. I'm not talking about ultimate love, but it's very true. But like, I feel like there's an argument for retellings in that way, though, too, because of that. Because you can get something more holistic, get something more. But yeah, I don't expect that to ever happen again, probably.
Yeah. Now, actually, let's go back to the thing that started this Captain America anniversary tribute, because that is like a page-for-page remake, right? Like every single page has been remade on an artistic level, but all of the writing remains the same. What do you think? Like, is that something that we should? Is that something worth endorsing? Like, is that something that should be done? And this goes for any comic, really, not just like Big Two comics, you know, like if I could remake some issues of it, like if you could remake all of Immortal Hulk, but without, you know, the
I think the thing that sucks, just as a quick aside, that sucks about Immortal Hulk is that the art is so sick. Like, it is all bangers. Like,
it's much easier to make that case with Immortal Thor, though.
yeah, exactly. But actually, Immortal Thor is probably a better case because, like, with Hulk, it felt so much like a collaboration. Like, this thing only exists because the art looks this way, and it only exists because the writing is this way. And they're working together to create this horrible, wonderful book. Whereas Immortal Thor, like, there's been no chance for an artist to make their own statement with Thor. You know, like, the fans are like, great, this is the all-time Thor run. And it's like, we just had an all-time Thor run, like 6 years ago, and
okay, I was like the Cates run. Are you sure?
No, but like, and that was because it was artistically driven, right? We don't get Dodderman if we don't have Mighty Thor, and Dodderman defined like 3 years of that book too. Even if he wasn't on the arts, right? Skiddy was on the War Thor.
I mean,
art,
even Esad Ribic for like, I think it was
I was going to go back to him too, and
he
defined Thor's look through all of that too. And so like, and I think to get back to the actual the point, like, I think taking just the script and having other people interpret an old script is like missing the point of comics. Because like, I truly believe the best comics are a work of collaboration. I don't think you get a great comic unless you have an artist and a writer working together. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't get it unless they're working together. Or, I mean, it could be one person doing both of those jobs. It's also fun. But so, like,
now what if it was the same artist coming back to redo?
I think that's cool. I mean, it's an interesting experiment at the very least.
I'm surprised no one's actually done it yet. Like, I can't recall any cases where like one artist has come back to a comic that they've done in the past and just redone it just to see. You know, like, I
mean, there's books. I know there's books that, you know, are published across a really long time frame, and you get to see the artist evolve across the book. I know actually Wictive, the opening scene, McKelvey re-inked it, and I think Wilson recolored it when they brought the scene back later in the series. So there's stuff like that has happened, and I think that's happened more than once. I can't imagine that's the only time that's ever happened, right?
Damn, how much would you pay for Cory Walker to redo those like first, what was that, like 3 volumes of Invincible with his like current style? Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the money that Kirkman's, because they're doing the deluxe editions of those, right?
Yeah, but like, they're not supposed to ever collect them or whatever. They're only going to exist in single issues, which is to explain the cash grab. Those are remastered. Like, those, I mean, no.
Yeah.
They don't sell incredibly well or anything like that, but it's a cool thing that exists, I guess. There
is a contingent of people buying it, and I think it was Dave Stewart that's coloring them. Gives Dave Stewart work. I thought it was, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like when I see the covers, I feel like it's Fairbairn.
Deluxe. Okay, Walking Dead Deluxe Edition. It's actually Dave McCaig. I got my Daves wrong. Many such cases.
Many such days. All these days, man. I'm not going to say
too many
anything bad about
days.
Dave's again, but I'm not.
Too many Daves. But yeah, this is like just Dave McKay going back and recoloring everything else. As far as I know, nothing else has changed with the writing, the lettering, or the art. It's like the line work itself. It's just that it's colored now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Jeff Smith did the same thing with Bone.
Oh, right.
Right? Like the Scholastic
everybody
editions.
Always forgets that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the Scholastic editions are the first, like in the public consciousness, you know, like the Scholastic editions came first, right? But like in reality, the Scholastic editions were just recolors, or colors on the existing black and white stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff does that. I think it's the first. Wow, I'm blanking on her too. She did
Give me
some
details.
Avatar comics. She's mostly just like she does a lot of stuff for First Second. She writes and draws.
Avatar comics.
She wrote Avatar comics. I follow her on Bluesky, but that means I have to go through.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if she wrote and drew it, but see, my brain is saying Eric Moen, but that's completely incorrect. Faith Erin Hicks.
Faith Erin Hicks. Okay.
Her first book through First Second, Something Will Always Go Wrong, something like that. Its initial run was black and white, and then she colored it later. So it happens all the time, I think, especially in like early works of people where it's just like, I don't know, money to pay a colorist and I don't know how to color. I'll just do it in black and white, and then eventually if it's successful, we'll release it and I'll get a colorist. Or they don't even think about that second step. They're just like, I'm publishing a comic. And I think I don't even think that's a remaster.
It's funny to think of them as a case of remastering, because it's like at first, like you don't think about that when you think about, you know, like for instance, Bone, right? Like I don't think of the Scholastic editions of Bone as like remasters. But you know, if you really wanted to get pedantic about it, yeah, I guess you can. You know, like that is a remaster, right?
That's what this is for, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing totally about this episode is like us being pedantic about like what is a remaster and what isn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah, in those terms, it is totally a remaster, and it's super common. Like, and everybody's fine with it. Nobody cares. Like, I mean, actually, I have seen people care about The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I have seen people like, because, and I think it's silly, right? Because The Walking Dead has got to be the most easily accessible comic ever, right? If you want to be a purist and experience it in black and white only, you so easily can, and you never even have to think about the fact that it's available in color.
Especially given the fact that this doesn't, exactly, this won't ever get collected, right?
Yeah, so it is like, it will be preserved in the sense that it exists on getcomics.com. That's it.
Right.
Like, people will make digital compendiums of the colored editions, and whatever. Like, still, the black and white will be easier to access, cheaper, whatever. But like, a lot of work goes into making sure something's legible in black and white, I think. And like, I think about Dragato.
I mean, manga, right? Like manga even too, right?
Yeah.
Like so much of that, if you were to color that, you know, how much of the original intent are you losing out on? Like, or any comic that uses screen tone in black and white.
Yeah.
Like, you mentioned Dragato. Dragato is a perfect example of this.
Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I mean, I got the noir edition of Absolute Batman 1.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course I did. His art's so good though, and his inks are so good, and there's so much like he knows that the tone is going to be affected by the colors, and he knows that the colors are going to come in and change things. But the legibility is what's incredible to me. And the number of panels he can do on a page while keeping everything. He legitimately is like a Silver Age artist in that way, where it's just he's that. And that, I don't know if he went to the Kubert school, but every time I see like Lieber posting about Kubert school stuff, I'm like, yeah, Dragato falls into all that stuff too. And whether that's school or experience or just intuition, it's just like, I love looking at that dude's lines.
You love looking dudes? Nice.
Well, it's okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I think a lot about like why the manga industry doesn't add coloring to the pipeline,
right.
and how much that would change things, because it really feels like the American comics industry was shaped differently than manga because of colors becoming part of the process.
Yeah.
And like, what would it look like if manga really started like older manga started doing colors, re-releasing with colors, and what would happen? Like, how would that affect the American audience? How would that affect Japanese audience? Would it be really widespread? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think of.
I mean, if they were to add coloring to like existing ongoing comics, that would absolutely change like the production pipeline significantly.
Right? Yeah. Because you have a whole extra step.
Yeah, like I think Akira got colored too when it got brought over to the US for the first time, right? So that,
yeah, I think so.
I think the Epic editions had colors. Yeah, I haven't seen them, but I can imagine that like that would have, like, colors do change so much about like art, right? Like the lines, right? Like when we're talking about remasters being considered recolors, right? Like if you were to go back and recolor I don't know, even Amazing Spider-Man #1 from 1963 to make it look you know, more modern, how much of that would ruin the line work? Like how much of Ditko's line work would just, you know, look like mud with modern colors on, like yeah. Like I think about the GTA trilogy, the remaster that came out recently, where like they added modern lighting to those games. Yeah. Weird. And like it completely takes away the visual identity that those games had, and they added it back like really recently. Like they have a classic lighting mode now where you can actually make San Andreas have like that orange tint that it had originally.
Yeah. You know what? Metal Gear.
Yes,
got
Metal Gear Delta.
Out of. I was gonna buy it. I was gonna buy it day one. I was gonna start it. Completely talked out of it by David Brothers and you and Guy and everybody else who was talking about how good it looked.
And that one actually has a classic coloring feature too. Like that one
now, or it did then.
Well, not the remaster, but the upcoming remake, Delta. Like that has a classic coloring mode. But at that point, it's like, why are you remastering, or like why are you remaking it, right? Like if the whole point is that like you're just doing the same thing over, but you're making it look prettier.
Yeah.
You know what's
and, like that's my thing of the difference between remaster and remake. Like at the core of this conversation of like, I don't know, we talked about this in the Yakuza episode when we were yapping. Of like, if you're gonna put new resources into a thing, I almost want it to be different. I want you to make an artistic statement, which is like the anti-preservationist statement, I think.
Right. Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want the exact same product, unless it's impossible to get to that product.
Right.
Like if I can't access the product and you're telling me it's an incredible piece of art that everybody should experience, then like I want an exact replica of that thing available for me to be able to play, you know. But like if it is accessible, if it is something that like, okay, whatever, it's right there, I could get it on Switch or whatever, then like do something with it, get weird with it. And so I would prefer that, I think. But I don't know, it just seems like, especially corporate, because this is most remasters are corporate driven,
right?
And it feels like they're just trying to make the thing again. They just want, and I mean, it's a funny thing, right? It's a capitalism thing.
Yeah.
They already have the cost sunk in writing and developing all these things, so we do the exact same thing. But boom.
Yeah, all they need to do is worry about like, you know, trade design and I don't know, like I guess in some cases recoloring, but even that, you know, like you look at some of those Marvel and DC re-releases and you can tell they just did not give it. Jose Villarrubia has like a whole series about how much they don't give it. Right. But yeah, I guess a lot of this conversation around like remastering and remaking older comics does hinge on intent, right? Like the corporate intent, artistic intent, even just like, is, you know, this thing meant to be touched by other hands, right? Like,
Yeah.
Should we be altering, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like actual art here. Should we be remastering the Mona Lisa?
Yes. Just kidding. Make it bigger.
Make it bigger. Make them bigger, you know.
Okay.
We remade the Mona Lisa, but she's got a bigger rack this time.
Whoa.
Like, what's I mean, you know, artists used to do that all the time, where they would have like their assistants, you know, like make copies and replicas of the art too, right? So how far off are we from doing that with comics? Who's to say?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And like that's part of why I think the George Lucas part of this is especially like meaningful to me, I guess, because it's just like, he's stupid. Stop going back to it. It's in the Library of Congress, dog. Like, you did it. Well, stop tinkering with it. And so like, it almost is the sort of thing where if the original artist cares, I'm annoyed because I've already experienced it the way it's supposed to be experienced. Stop messing with it.
I mean, that's tough, because like Wong Kar-wai has this.
Okay.
In some cases, it actually is a problem where you'll go back and like redo parts of his movies so that it. Ashes of Time is one of the worst cases, where like the theatrical cut is like the best version. It's one of the rare cases actually where the theatrical cut is the best version of the movie. But you know, like that's not what the director wants, right? And I guess in some cases there are, I'm trying to think of movies where like the artist or like the creators just won't stop messing with it and retouching it. James Cameron with those 4Ks.
It's so funny. It's so funny that like there's not, I don't feel like there's a single good one. There's ones that people are like, yeah, that one you could buy. That one
wasn't as bad. Yeah.
You could buy that one. Like that one could be in your collection. But it's still not like, wow, good job. He put so much time into them. And that's the part that like boggles the mind. What? You're spending that much time on a thing that is like completely agreed on being bad? Oof, tough.
I mean, you never know. Maybe on his 5th attempt it'll be better.
Yeah. He's still figuring out the process.
Listen, when the 8K Blu-ray, or sorry, the 8K ultra high definition disc version of True Lies comes out in 2042, then we'll be able to see what James Cameron truly had in mind.
So true. The genius man, you know?
He is a creator. He is a guy from Ontario. He is a guy from Ontario. That much is true. Is true.
Shouts. We got Big O, I think.
No, we didn't.
I think that's what it's called.
No, I don't listen. I've lived here my entire life. I've never once heard it referred to as the Big O.
Oh, so it's the small O.
Big O, Ontario. Let me Google if that's a nickname. No, there is the Big O Conservation Area in Ontario, but Ontario has never been referred to as the Big O, at least based on this cursory Google search. Yeah, that's a very American thing to do, you know.
Sorry.
Oh, Ontario, the Big O, right?
Big O, baby.
No,
you know,
no one.
I guess that's just Orlando. Yes, that's
it's like when from someone
I'll have to send that.
It's like when people pronounce it Toronto. It's like, all right, you're not from here.
Is it Toronto?
Toronto.
Ooh, Toronto. That's gross. I like it.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Okay.
All right. I think that's an episode. We managed to get another good good chunk out of this. Hopefully people weren't so bored that they started making up thoughts and assumptions about. See, this makes no sense if we put this episode out before the episode.
We have to now.
If we put this out before the episode where we talk about thinking critically, that will make no sense.
So they started. Yeah, no, it will.
No, you know what? We should do that, because then it will push people to go listen to that episode and then come back to this episode and be like,
this one rewatchability.
Oh, so that's what they meant by that. Yeah. So
we're trying to, in this off season, we're trying new things. What we're doing is a non-chronological publishing order to encourage repeat listening.
Yeah, they call it the Pax Americana of Podcasts. We record everything in one order and then we release it in the reverse order.
Gotta do the machete cut of Midnight Grappler Animals, the off season.
You have to watch the second half of the Superior Spider-Man episodes before you watch the first half.
But only the Sicko's cut.
Yeah, only the Sicko's cut. Yeah, so Midnight Grappler Animals Sicko's Cut speedrun, which, if you want to listen to the Sicko's Cut of any episodes that we've released up to this very day, you can do so by subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. It's thanks to contributions from listeners like you that we can still do this show, that we can even do this off season without having to worry about like how that will affect our ARRs or our KPIs or whatever other business bullshit term I can pull out of my ass. $2 a month gets you uncensored episodes a week earlier than the public, as well as the ability to vote on future episode topics, perhaps for our whatever number of the season that comes after this off season is going to be. We still haven't figured that out, actually. But if you give us $5 a month, you can get not only that, but our entire backlog of bonus episodes, including the Sicko's Cuts that we mentioned before, as well as Patreon exclusive series and a whole lot of other goodness. B-sides, where we just, shoot the before each episode gets recorded. You can listen to all the juicy details at patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. And if you can't, again, please just give us a review on your podcast app of choice. Tell your friends, tell your family. If a holiday dinner is coming up, like for instance, I don't know, Christmas maybe, or
a New Year's dinner, perhaps,
or New Year's dinner,
King
or
Junior Day, or
Valentine's Day dinner. Yeah, there's a possibility this comes out before Valentine's Day. Well, so at any of those dinners, if you want to tell your family and friends about this podcast that you've been listening to called Midnight Grappler Animals, just tell your waiter, create a business card for us and hand it out to people. Just do it. If you got questions, comments, or suggestions for the show, you can email us at midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com. And if you want to find the links to our Discord server as well as our Bluesky pages, you can find that in the description of this episode. All right, Keigen, we got another Tastemakers grab bag thing. You go first, because I need to figure out what's in my backlog.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna go with this will date this episode. So I just saw Gladiator 2. You know what? We're talking about like remasters and things like that. Like sequels and legacy sequels and that kind of stuff. I think this is one of the ones that like makes such a strong argument for why it exists. I'm still not sure it needed to, right? Gladiator 1 had an ending. It makes sense. But like, I understand why Ridley Scott, why in his brain this should get made. This movie should have gotten made. And just for that, I think it's cool. It's a cool sequel to Gladiator. It's good. I liked it. It's fun. Go see it on a discount movie night. You'll walk away happy.
On a discount movie night. Yes.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you saw a movie on release? This isn't just a question for Keigen, but for the audience at home. Think about that.
Think about it.
Just think about
Dwell on it.
Dwell on it. You know. I guess
That's
That's it.
That's it for me. I might have more tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, next
we'll
time.
see. I gotta. Yeah, next. I might have more for 3 weeks ago.
That's really good.
I am gonna recommend. I'm gonna recommend Old, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Old.
Oh, I really want to watch.
I finally watched it. Go watch Trap. You know what? I think I already recommended Trap like so many months ago, but if you haven't already, go watch Old and Trap. You know, it's got the juice, it's got the sauce. What can I say? And it's also got Aaron Pierre of Rebel Ridge fame as a rapper named Midsize Sedan. So like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be my recommendation, at least until I can figure out what I'm gonna recommend 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You know, you've done it again. You've gotten this far in the episode. If you have, you're very special to us. But you know, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks to entertaining us, just yapping off the cuff for about an hour. And as always,
keep on grappling.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. You know, with just two people, you know, the first time we did it, we're like, oh, there's no way we can mess this up.
No, and it's like, no, there was no way to mess it up. And we need that.
I mean, not that we've ever messed it up. You
no,
know, there's never
always
been...
got it in one. Always in one.
But, you know, it's more of a feat when you can get three people to do it at the same time.
I miss the training weights. Is the thing. You know?
You know, this is just like we're sandbagging. You know, that's what it is. We're sandbagging. It's tough. It's tough.